The high octane admixture of cultures gets you the United States of America right about now. High octane multiculturalism to the max. It's both the reality and the backlash together, is it not? The unifying concept is high octane multiculturalism. For or against. For or against. Is that a philosophical question or is it just an analytical question? Maybe you just have to get the Constitution out. Go line by line, word by word. See, we have the privilege in the United States of America being this wildly experimental democracy that we have, right? We have the privilege of living a kind of empirical scientific experiment. Is that not what democracy is in the United States? Is it not an experiment? There is a refrain. It is very familiar, but it's beginning to sound a bit rhetorical. But I remember not so long ago, it sounded like a profound question. And now I'm not sure how profound it actually is. And I think that only really speaks to what we've gone through, say, in the past year in this country. Consider the podcast series by the John Avlon, How to Fix It. And the whole concept is engineered around the idea of what can I do? And the famous pamphlet, which I always say that I'm never going to mention because it's a bad mythology, but I can't resist because people love it so much. What is to be done? Vladimir Lenin, 1902. But he borrowed it from, who was it? Chevsky something. You know, these things I'm supposed to remember. What do I do? What is to be done? What does one do? What can one do? I am merely a yes, but what can I do? And then certainly a large percentage of people actually will become indignant that others pretend as though they can do something. And then those who pretend they can do something are equally as pissed at the people who make no pretensions, make no such pretensions. And if I think about myself, of course, is the first matter of inquiry is always the self. And about a year ago, when things were getting especially gnarly, I was very frustrated by the question, what can I do? What can I do? One of the things that occurred to me is to just be as close to the community as I can. So I'm in Sunset Park here in Brooklyn, and I have neighbors and shopkeepers and so forth, coffee shops and everything, and I think that's a significant aspect, the practical aspect, just to make sure that if somebody's getting assaulted in front of you, it's better the more degrees of Kevin Bacon, as we say, you've closed, the more degrees of association that you have covered, the closer that people are to real objective, keeping track. I mean, that's in the absence of a surveillance state, which we all ostensibly reject. We have to what? Remember that we're in a community. I mean, that's ancient knowledge. To say that it's wisdom is stupid. It's just an analytical fact. You live in a community. Humans are community oriented one way or another. This occurs to me. I mean, because of course it is very easy to be biased against, say, online communities, which is I would not be so hasty. I'm interested in knowing. Let's say that you I don't know how it works, but you're involved in some, say it's an online game, and it happens in real time, and it requires fast decisions, and it requires reflexes, and so on. And let's suppose that there are individuals on the other side of the world that you do this game with, that one does this game with. Now, if somebody doesn't show up when they're expected. Do the individuals on the other side of the world know how to, like, say, notify family members or friends if the person hasn't shown up? Here's a very immediate example of the kind of question that I'm asking. Sometimes I turn my ringer off, my phone. You know, like if I have a date or something. There are a number of reasons why I would turn the sound on my phone off. I'm not the only one. But then, if I forget to turn it back on, and my mother calls me, if I'm not paying attention, then she's going to start worrying real quick because the ringer is off. Here's another aspect of this. How many calls do I answer that are a number that I don't recognize? Exactly 0. That's how many. How many people are like me? 0 calls. I don't answer calls that I don't recognize the number. Why would I? I've made that mistake before. That's why I made this adjustment. I've made the mistake before that say, sir, are you... And then that reminds me, now I'm going into just my gripes with society. I don't answer my door either. How's that for I mean, that's an interesting feature of a neighborhood. Well, it wouldn't matter where I was. Why are you coming to my door? Why would you come to my door? Maybe it's an emergency. I don't know. So the other day I'm on the second floor. I go out to the window. Somebody's knocking on my door. They're wearing, listen to this, they're wearing yellow fluorescent jacket. Looks like they work with the city. It looks like it could be an emergency. And I opened my window. I said, hi. And they start giving me this whole spiel. About what? Something about cable. Keeps asking, who's your cable carrier? I guess I said Spectrum. Oh, well, you're qualified, he says. That was the gimmick. The bait. You're qualified. Do tell. Am I qualified? Yeah, you're qualified. In advance, we approved you. We just need access to your cable box. You approved me for what? Oh, well, sir, this month we're having I said, hold on. Who are you with? Verizon. I said, but what is this regarding? Sir, are you satisfied with your right? I mean, like, it's he's got to get there. He's got to get to something specific, but it can't get too specific. At least 2 minutes later, and several questions later, I said, "Sir, yes or no, you are a salesperson for Verizon?" He says, "Yes." And I slammed the window and I walked away. I probably said, "Thank you, bye." All right. These are perennial problems. Nobody ever liked a salesperson, except if there were door-to-door salespeople. Apparently, in Laramie, I've heard stories that they actually did pay. They anticipated salespeople. That was entertaining. Door-to-door salespeople. Well. Phones, communication, email, text message, it's getting quite unwieldy. I cannot use email, period. How can I use email? What emails I get emails from every single service provider I've ever had. Right? Every single vendor that I've ever given money to. Every artist and musician, from 2 record labels, and there's no way that I could reliably hold myself to email accountability. Absolutely no way. Because if I open myself to the notion of email accountability, then that means that there's at least 1,000 people who I will really have to worry about whether or not I'm missing their emails. Right? Because if you hold yourself out as being contactable by email, then you have to be reliable by email. But what if you've been using email for 20 years? It's perfectly unwieldy. What am I? Am I a high-powered? Am I a high-velocity individual? No, I'm a fucking nothing. I'm a fucking lazy stoner. So, can you imagine? Does Richard Branson use email? No, it's impossible. The talk about, Epstein emails and everything, the idea that, this is just mind-boggling to me. These high-velocity individuals are sitting around typing emails to each other? How's that work? You're keeping track of hundreds and hundreds of people all at once on email? How do you have a life? Oh yeah, you don't have a life, right? You don't have a life because you spent all your time doing email. I'm telling you, it was about 2014, 2013, maybe, and I was running 2 record labels full time. There were a few days that I literally just stood in the kitchen for 10 hours straight, talking on the phone, sending text messages and talking on the phone at the same time for 10 hours straight. Okay, is that a life? No, and that's only, how many people is that? 10 hours straight. If it's 10 people, it's not even 10 people. It's more like 5 people, right? It's not a life. I said that I was talking on the phone. I mean, it was all at once, talking and typing emails. I mean, the whole point is that being absolutely available, 100% available, 24/7 on all channels, potentially. Then how are you going to maintain reliability? I mean, at this point, the only way I know for damn well sure that I can maintain reliability, like, you have to get me on the phone. That's it. You have to get me on the phone.